Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Serum. I'm Phlinger, and the game is actually coming out into early access this week. I've already had a chance to jump in and play the demo. I thought it was pretty good. I've already done a first 30 minutes video. This is not going to be that. This is going to be me going through and experiencing a whole bunch of stuff so where when you're coming in from early access, you know what to expect. And I think that could actually help out quite a few different people that are coming into it. All right, so first things first, gameplay settings. One of the things, being a left-handed player, one of the things I always do, if you're a right-handed person, this doesn't really apply to you. But yeah, go to key mapping, and you cannot alter your movement, which sucks. So either you can use a gamepad, which is kind of cool. I do like the fact that they did include a gamepad to it, which I think is rather interesting. So where if you're, like me, you could just pick up a controller and play it. But instead, if you insist, like me, on using the keyboard, you're stuck with the WASD commands, at least for now, until they get to change this. So, yep, that's one of the things that I think you need to keep an eye out for. You can go into a few different things. They do have their own Discord, which is kind of cool. All right, so let's pop in. Let's play some Serum. All right, and immediately upon running in, this is what you encounter. Press E to interact with that. Press Tab, select Serum, and it's all here. Let's see, E to close, Tab, and give yourself an injection.
Juice is flowing.
A timer on your hand that counts down time you are immune to blight. When the timer runs out, the blight will continue to kill you. Check the timer regularly to hold it by holding down T. All right, so let's hold E to close. Now we can just hold up T, and that shows us we only have 6 minutes, which that timer is a bit annoying, or that beep. All right, in this game, it's not, it does have some pretty serious horror elements in it, so know what you're getting into.
I hope it works. Hello? Is there anybody out there? Hello, Richard?
Who are you? Identify yourself.
Adam Stewart, Serum Tester ID 1XC027.
Where's Steve?
He's dead.
Damn it.
And then he hangs up. All right, so then you kind of just press right out into here. Let's go ahead and let's find out what we can do.
Oh, fuck!
What happened?
My arms! Something strange is happening to them.
You are experiencing the first symptoms of the infection.
What infection?
I don't have time to explain. Look around. The central node building should be nearby. Can you see it?
Yes, it's in front of me.
Good. Inside you'll find a device with a yellow DNA symbol. It's an absorber. You'll need to connect it to your timer. This way you'll cleanse your organism.
But...
Stop wasting your time. Do as I say. Then use the radio to call me back.
I think that's the thing he was talking about.
And the tutorial does a pretty good job of guiding you through this. So just pay attention to what. And every time you use a serum in this game, it will build up a level of poison in your system. So just make sure that you're very aware of that. The amount of time that you can get from your total amount of serum injections is 15 minutes. So each serum will actually add on to that, but then each serum also will slowly be poisoning you. The only way to get rid of this poison is to go back and use this absorber. It'll reduce your timer down to 159 every time, but it'll also remove the poisons and the toxins from your system. Now, if you have a certain level of poison and toxicity in your system, you cannot use additional serums. This is very important when you're going out on the explorations later on. Just be aware that when you venture from this base, you will have a very very finite amount of time before you have to get back here and use the absorber to remove the toxins from your body, because once you hit that 15-minute mark on your serums, you can't take any more anywhere until you use another absorber. All right, so with that said, now we have to go start crafting a whole bunch of serum. You gather just about everything you can. And you do have a weight system in this game, so be very mindful of that. All right, coming down on the bottom floor, you'll start to actually see some of Steve's notes. There's someone watching me. You just go around, take all of them. Make sure you grab all the stuff out of the toolbox. All right, and on the third floor is where you'll find a whole bunch of different stuff, but also Steve's recipe, and that's what we need. And then this starts our search for the blue amylaria, the healing herb, and the snake plant. This right here is what you need to craft the serum. But also, just remember that in games like this, whenever they give you an item, it's generally preferred that you take it in the very beginning. You can always sort your inventory out later when you get to a bit more understanding of the game. And then up on the second floor, right next to the bed, that's where you'll find the cable car access card, which is kind of important later on, so make sure you have that. All right, then coming out here into the wilderness, or just right off the side of the base, right there. So right here's the snake plant, and we're still within range, so where it's not kicking our serum timer into motion, so we can quickly gather up a whole bunch of this stuff. And right there we are. Now we've got everything.
I already
we
have
need.
some of the ingredients.
All right, now you have to travel back up to the second floor of the base, so where you can craft your first serum. You come up here to the fabricator, and then this right here will pop up, which kind of explains to you what you need to do. All right, this also goes through and it explains to you that there are several different types of serums. So while we are learning this one, it's just the very beginning serum. So there are different ones that you can learn later on. All right, so closing that, and then you open this up. And this will give you different effects that you can actually learn. So there are certain different effects, like this right here, health regeneration. These are... Well, first off, you need that, and then you go through and you click on all these different ones. Now, this is right here is the very beginning one. This is Steve's recipe. Now, you can eventually upgrade it in here, and then you can also add different effects to the different serums as you progress through the game. Now, some areas will actually block you from entering, or you just won't be able to go into it without having the proper serum or a certain specific server or serum for that. All right, now let's just craft this. So now we've got one serum of that, and then also there's quite a bit around here, so we're just going to craft another one of those. All right, and then from here, it'll tell you to use the workbench to craft the machete. All right, but then you come up to the workbench, and you select the machete, and you already learned how to make the scanner, but we can't make that right yet. All right, so for here, we're going to need 5 metal and 5 fabric. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to start recycling things. Notice that this can right here will recycle into 2 metal. Right, and then the fabric, these rags right here, they will actually refine into 40 of those. So we're going to recycle the rags, and then 3 cans. And then we can craft our machete.
Finally.
And then also in here, you can also, I mean, here you have access to a bunch of your other stuff in here, which is quite cool. All right, so now we're given the task of going and exploring the node building. So it actually sets us out so where we can get a little bit more familiar with this. You have to start off by selecting the generator, which will only give it 5 fuel. And then we have to go interact with the hydroponic center, which is downstairs. And be careful when coming down in areas like this. This right here should be fine. But as you come down into some of these areas, sometimes you can be ambushed by some of the creatures in here. All right, so from here, what you want to do is this hydroponic station, this is actually how you can grow some of your plants that you need, because there is a very finite amount of resources with stuff in this game, but by gathering up just about everything that you can, you should be able to get quite a bit of stuff that you need. Also, just if you need to grow new plants, this is how you do it. All right, coming up here to generator.
Richard, come in. I turned on the power. What do I do with the access card now?
Find a card reader in the cable car cockpit and put the card inside it.
All right, now we're going to be leaving the area. Got to make sure we get all of this stuff on our way out. But we're still kind of close to the initial base, so our timer hasn't started going down, but it will soon. And you need to be very, very careful to make sure that doesn't reach 0. All right, also remember, there is a thing of gasoline right up here. So the gasoline, you just find it right up at the very top. All right, so now that we've activated the tram, or at least put the key card in here, now they activate 3 separate quests that we now have. We have step by step, which makes this right here is basically the beginning. And then we have going home. This right here is how you get out of here. And then this right here is how you go to the other biomes. This right here is pretty much going to be the first one that we do. All right. But by having the access card and put it in here, this right here is, for the most part, already done. Well, the first page. Then from here, you can press R to turn the second page. So this right here, we have to unlock this one right there. We have to unlock this right here. And this is the main quest. And these are the different side quests. Now, this time, I would recommend going around and just gathering a whole bunch of the herbs from the area while your timer really isn't going too far down. But just know that when you do stray from your base, your timer will be going down. And also, just know that if any time while you're adventuring around your base, you can go out, you can get your timer down to about 30 seconds, 20 seconds, and you come back in, and you can just use this absorber right here to reset your timer all the way back up to 2 minutes. Just to give you a little bit of running around room around the base. See, if the timer wants to go up, it'll come back down to 1.59. So, yeah, so it'll put you up to 2 minutes, even when you're down to, like, 50 seconds. So just be very mindful of that. You can adventure around this little bit, come back towards here, it'll reset your timer, and then you can come back out here. As long as you stay in this biome around your base, it's pretty good about that. And out here, there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can gather. Just remember that you will run into the timer quite a few times in this initial biome. You just run back to here and re-inject yourself, and it'll reset you down to 159. It works really, really well. All right, and the plants around the base, they do respawn, so just make sure that if you're hanging around your base, you can craft up quite a few serums before you start to go heading out. Just make sure you've got quite a few of them. All right, and also if you want to go down and craft a bunch of, well, grow a bunch of your plants, you can just come down like this, put one in each one, plant them, down to like this, plant again, And then this right here, plant again. And then just make sure that when you're growing them, that you've got plenty of gasoline up top, because it is important, and if you run out of gasoline in your generator, they will die, and it's very unapologetic about that. So just make sure that you give plenty of gas to your generator if you're going to be using that thing, and I would encourage you to absolutely use it. It does help out quite a bit, because when you go out and explore and stuff, it gets very, very intense. So make sure that you can get out and gather a whole bunch of stuff. Make sure you've got plenty of serums before you go, and then also make sure you've got plenty of timer on your serums. But also make sure that when you do your serums, it gives you 5 minutes of protection, and you will constantly be upgrading the different serums as you go to get through a whole bunch of stuff. So just be very, very aware of that. And also, when you get things like the spear and stuff like that, that you craft them, because they will come in extremely handy while you're going out. And just remember, this game gets very, very intense. I mean, very intense. So just know that when you go out, you will probably die quite a few times. And just make sure that you are very, very ready for that. Because it is scary, it is freaky, it is intense, and if you're into that kind of thing, it's really glorious. So yeah, I hope this video helps you out a little bit. Just make sure that also, one last thing is while you're going through, and what I can tell you, the best thing is when you're going through, make sure that you queue up the first part of the different quests, so where it will actually guide you. And the one we're on right now is the insert the key card. This is the one that will actually guide you through a whole bunch of stuff. So now that we've got that, it should actually queue up the note, which is, I believe, over this way. Check that.
That's better.
And it takes you to these puzzles. And when you're figuring out these puzzles, all right, now what you have to do is from left to right, you have to get the serum to actually get these things set up properly. Now what you do is you go to this one right here and you rotate. Now the goal is you need to bypass everything so where it skips a whole bunch of stuff. So now we go down, and the green light on the right is the one that activates each individual one. So we can go through and we can select each one as we're going and then flip them around. That's where we go like that, and then we just start the flow. It'll go through that and it'll redirect everything. And it'll skip the one down on the bottom right. Goes through and activates the door. And when you go out on these adventures out away from the base, make sure that you have the inventory space, because you will find a whole bunch of stuff out here and a whole bunch of good stuff. And just know that as long as you're... And that door, it just acts like it's closing, but it'll reopen as soon as you get back. Alright, rules of combat. This is a very important one. The block mechanic is huge. And also, the stagger bar, you'll see when you're attacking that they have the top red and then the bottom. The bottom is their stagger bar. So, yeah, make sure that if you can, try to stagger them as much as possible, but getting to that point, it's going to take a lot of practice. All right, and then also this right here, serum poisons your body, causing negative effects. When the poisoning bar reaches its maximum, you will not be able to use serum until you use an absorber. So make sure that when you go out, you don't over serum yourself. You give yourself just as much time as you think, and then just remember, when you need to get back in through here, Just sprint back right through here. This door will open, and this door can feel like it takes forever to open back up as you're running back to your base, because that timer, it just doesn't stop. It doesn't care if you live or die. This timer will just be like, yeah, you're screwed. Enjoy. So yeah, be very, very, very mindful of that. And just remember, this game gets absolutely intense. And the whispering voices, well, you're just going to have to find out those for yourself. So, hey, I hope this video helps you out on your journey into Serum. Honestly, this game is really, really cool. It's really intense. And, oh, my gosh, it is so fun. And just remember also that when you need to, the shift button will dodge you. So, yeah. And not only does it sprint, but if you pull into certain directions, left and right, and you click sprint. Here, let me get down here so we're not on the thing. It will dodge you, and it kind of helps out quite a bit. So, yeah. Just like that. All right. Anyway, so, hey, that right there, that's the basics on how to get into this game. This game is super intense, yet super fun and horrifying all at the same. So, hey, I hope the video helped you out. Just remember, storage right here, this is your friend. All right? So, hey, that's going to do it for me. Yeah, hey, I hope the video helps you out. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button. I really appreciate it. If you're new around here, subscribe. And good luck and enjoy the serum.